Fabric Gems Boutique is a video podcast where we celebrate the art of quilting. Each episode will be packed with inspiring guests from every corner of the quilting world, sharing their best gems of knowledge, creativity, and passion. Whether you're a seasoned quilter or just getting started, there's something here for everyone to help you create your own gem. Discover the hidden gems of quilting. And now, get ready for Fabric Gems Boutique with your host, Chris O'Connor. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Fabric Gems Boutique podcast. I am so glad you're here today. I am joined by a very special guest that I met at Plano Quilt Show in August. She is the creative force behind Fold and Sew. What is Fold and Sew? Well, you're soon going to find out. Her work celebrates the art of quilting and sewing in such a unique way, and she's built a business that truly reflects her passion for color, creativity, storytelling through fabric. So let's jump in and hear from Danea with Fold and Sew herself. Hi, Danea.
Hi, Chris. How are you doing?
I am so excited to have you here today.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Oh, I mean, it was such a joy to be at the quilt show in Plano, and such a joy to see you there. I think you probably were at Dallas too, weren't you?
I was.
And she's got such a unique item that I think you all need to see. So tell us, what's going on in your life right now? What's happening with your business right now? What lights you up?
What lights me up right now, we've launched our quiltlets. We launched 24 quiltlets. They're the same concept as the Fold and Sew quilts, like the one I have behind me. And instead of cutting pieces of fabric apart and sewing them back together again, you're folding on dotted lines that we have printed on the fabric. And so instead of doing a large project with these, you can do small, simple projects and embellish something, maybe a jacket that you already have, or if you're making a bib for a baby, you can embellish it and put a little bit of your quilt into the smaller items. So that's been a lot of fun working with those. So that's what we're doing right now.
That sounds like fun, because actually I'm going to be a first-time grandma in October. I'm so excited.
Oh, that's so exciting. Congratulations.
I have to get some of those quiltlets to put in.
Yep.
I forgot to ask you and tell you beforehand, do you have any samples that you can show?
I do. If you give me a second, I'll grab one real quick. I've got it right here. So for our quiltlet, so this is the quiltlet. It comes, it's 44 inches long, and then you sew it together like you would with a Fold and Sew quilt. So you'd sew on the red lines, and then you'd sew on the blue lines. And when you're done, you can turn it into a little bag like this.
Oh,
and you just attach it to any fabric that you want to use, and it works great for little projects like this. We have, like I said, a baby bib. So we have
that's adorable
here. Yeah. So you can use them for all sorts of different little projects.
Wow. That's genius.
Oh, thank you.
That's really genius. I almost want to skip over everything and figure out, how did you get here? But I won't. Because I want to talk a little bit more about, do you have something recent, a recent project or collection that you're really, really proud of?
So the quiltlets are the most recent. It's been fun because I've been doing the quilt so long. It's been kind of fun in branching out into different things other than just the quilt. So I made a bag this week, and I'm going to hopefully be able to use it at the quilt shows. But this is a quiltlet here, but I had a lot of fun doing this one. So it's one of the Sally tomato patterns. So that's been a lot of fun. Just branching out a little bit and doing some different things with them.
What I see really cool about that is that you can incorporate something different and fun into the project that you're making, but it really doesn't matter what the project is, right?
Doesn't matter at all. You can add it to, like I said, I have a skirt here. I have a little model that my friend has a daughter that she's 2, and she modeled
adorable.
This for me. So it's an Old Navy skirt that I purchased, and then just add the quiltlet to it. So you can create a project from scratch or just add it to something. Wearing our quilts is becoming popular because our quilts sit at home, and so people don't get to see them, but then you can take them out into the world by using the quiltlets. So it's been a lot of fun.
I have a panel that I think that one of those, if it's in the right color, would be perfect for that I'm going to create a quilt with, right? And sometimes it's hard to figure out how to border around the panel.
Right.
And I think that would be perfect for that.
Yep.
Wow. That's genius.
Thank you.
That is really genius. Okay, I got to skip into everything else. How did I mean, I know that you had said that you've only been in business for about a year and a half, right?
Right.
Okay. Where did this inspiration come from? And
Laziness. um, I
I don't
was
think so.
I always have a few quilts going. And I enjoy the hand quilting part and I enjoy the design part. Those are my favorite. Cutting is not my favorite. I am not super precise. And my friend in Alaska, she was expecting a baby and the family's near and dear to our heart. So I needed to make something for this baby and it was her second baby. So I'd already made clothes for the first one. So a second little girl didn't need more clothing. So I was like, oh, I'll make her a quilt. So I made this quilt. I made it look like mountains and I rearranged it and I worked on it for days and I loved it. It was like my favorite quilt I've ever made. And I stood there and I was like, I'm sending this thing to Alaska. I'm not going to see it again. Fortunately, she posted on Instagram and stuff for me, but I was like, I really would like to make this quilt for myself, but I really don't want to cut the pieces out again. And as I was standing there looking at it spread across my kitchen table, it's taken up our entire lives for the last few days. I was like, I wonder what would happen if you just printed it onto one sheet of fabric and then you just fold it and you sewed it and then it just looked like it was piece. And so I started playing around with some ideas. I had very little knowledge of Photoshop and how that worked. And so I kind of created this fabric and I sent it off to Spoonflower and it came back and I sewed it together and it actually worked, which I was shocked that it could actually happen. And so I played around a lot with it, had a lot of bloopers that just they didn't work. The lines don't match up. And so after fussing with it, here we are. So it was fun. It was total laziness. That's all it was.
Well, how many other I don't cut very well, right? I mean, and I
Right.
think that's what holds me back is I swear I cut them exactly how they're supposed to, but
Yep.
then by the time I match them up, they're not. And I'm like, well, I cut them all at the same time. How could they be different? But
They do.
okay, they are. And I'm not a master quilter, right? I'm a sewer, but not a master
Right.
quilter. So, matching things is frustrating a bit to me. So the fold and sew method really is a brilliant idea. And why somebody hasn't come up with it before this, I
Yeah.
don't know. But I personally think it's a brilliant idea because I think if you are intimidated on cutting and half square and all the different triangles and this and that that go along with quilting, sewing on a dotted line to me is brilliant.
Yep.
You
Just a
still get your
straight
seams,
stitch.
right? You
Yep.
still get your seams, but everything's matched for you.
Yes.
I mean, it just blows me away. And I'm really excited that you went to Spoonflower to do that and they printed it for you and it
They
worked.
did. They did. Yep.
So who encouraged you to push this into a business?
So my brother is awesome. Him and his wife, she is an artist and she creates these books and she's launched several books. And he spurs her on. And so he said, I think you need to get a patent and you need to launch this. And I was like, nah, I don't think so. And then my sister-in-law said, no, you need to do this. And I was like, okay, if she thinks so, maybe I should do it. So talked to a lot of different people, talked to a lot of quilters. I've sewn for forever, but I hadn't started quilting until, the later years. Now that my children are out of making them cutesy little outfits.
Yes. Yes.
So quilting is not where I started. So I had to talk to a lot of people who know a lot more than I do, to get here. So yeah.
Well, I'm glad. Did you get a patent on it then? I didn't even know.
So the patent's pending. It takes a long time.
It
I
does.
was
Yeah.
not at all aware how long it would take. So they said estimated 3 to 5 years working on a patent. So we're smack dab in the middle of the process. So it's been fantastic. I have a great crew working with me.
That's awesome. I really am excited for you. I love when people come up with new ideas that nobody's thought of that can be a benefit. So I would assume your target market is more beginner style, or is it just everyone, no
It's
matter?
anyone. It's great for beginners in the fact that all you have to do is know how to sew a straight line. We have video tutorials that are meant for the new beginner who knows how to run a sewing machine, and that's it.
Mhm.
And it takes them from very beginning to end. I have video on how to attach your binding, So it's great for them. But even like my mother-in-law she's been quilting since she was young. And so she sells several quilts a year. And as she's getting older, arthritis is making
Mm.
it hard for her to cut her fabric or,
Mhm.
line things up just the way she needs them, getting the rotary cutter to go through. And so it's been a great option for her. My mother, who's sewn for forever, she's not necessarily a quilter, but the space that it takes up. And right now they're building a home and living in an RV while they're building their home. And so this gives her the option of still being able to sew and quilt without having it take over the RV, because she can just grab it and put it in a basket and then pull it back out when she needs it. So it fits a lot of different avenues of the quilting world. Sometimes you forget that baby shower that's coming up and you just need a quilt real quick so you can put one together. So yeah, any experience level, this is a great option for.
You really pointed out something important. I think the older we get, and maybe our hands get arthritic. I have arthritis in my family, and we can't like move our fingers and cut the way that we used to, or it gets cumbersome or whatever. Brilliant, brilliant. Um, I come from a sewing family, not a
Right.
quilting family. So this is a different avenue for me as well, the quilting arena.
Yep.
But I think if you know how to sew, the translation is pretty simple.
Mm-hmm.
And with your product, it can't be any simpler. And people will say, well, I can't sew a straight line. Well, you don't need to. You just follow the edge of your foot.
Right.
That's your straight line. If you can follow the edge of your foot that you're using, right? I mean, it can't be any simpler than that. And
It's
then
pretty easy.
people will gush over you like, oh my God, you made this? Yes.
Yep.
Yes. I just think it's brilliant that they pushed you into moving this forward, and that you're getting a patent on your product. So the people out there can't take it and steal it from you. Although
Yes.
I'm sure people will try and they'll have their own form of it, but you are the originator. And I think that's
Yes.
what's even so more exciting. And how does your family feel about that? Your kids, are they like, oh, mom, what are you doing now? Or are they excited for you?
Well, my son, he's doing his own thing. He's in teenage high school mode.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
daughter, she was like, well, mom has all this quilting stuff. I want to make a quilt for my friend for Christmas. And so, but she was like, no, I don't want to do one of your fold and sew ones because I want to do it. I was like, okay. She got started. She's sitting on top of the table, like bent over the table. We're cutting through her fabric and everything. And she looked at me and she's like, I get it now. I understand this fold and sew thing. And then, she laid it out on the floor and the dogs walked across and she's like raging at the dogs. And it's like, yep, this is why you don't have these problems with fold and sew. And she's like, and your points matched up. And she's a far more of a perfectionist than I am. So that was really frustrating for her. So it's been really funny watching her see my world a little bit. So
I think that's cool. That's pretty
yeah.
cool because, I mean, they just look at you, and because you make it look simple, right? Whatever you do,
Mm-hmm.
they don't understand the hours and the time and the cutting and until they actually do it themselves. So I think that's
Yep.
awesome. So does that mean that she's quit the cutting and all that and now gone to your fold and sew?
She hasn't yet. She did the one quilt and she's gone off to college now. So
Oh,
she hasn't worked on any more since, but I'll get her there.
well, here's the thing. They'll come back. I did, I
Yeah.
mean, I grew up in a sewing family. My mother sewed as long as I can remember. Both my grandmothers sewed. And so, when you grow up in that family, most of your
Mm-hmm.
clothes are handmade, right?
Yep.
And so that's what I lived with and was accustomed to. And then I got away from it because I really didn't want anything to do with it, right? Because I was in my 20s. Well, in my 30s, I started sewing again, and 40s,
Yep.
and it's all coming back to me that I want to do more of it. So it's
Yeah.
it's a great foundation, and she's got a busy life and her
She
own
does.
life to lead, and her son too, your son too. So
Mm-hmm.
I can remember when I taught my son how to sew. It was pretty entertaining. I still have the first quilt. Very lopsided, but it didn't matter.
Yep.
He probably doesn't know that I still have it, but I will present it to him one of these days. Maybe when his daughter is born. But
That's wonderful.
yeah, and so it's really kind of exciting how it passes through the family, and sometimes it doesn't. Now, so looking back,
Yes.
was there a turning point? Was there a like obviously you were questioning yourself, should I do this? And you talked to a lot of people, but was there a turning point when you said, wow, this is really going to work?
I think there've been many, it's gonna work, it's not gonna work. Okay, now it's gonna work. No, it's not. My poor husband. He's been such a sport in all of this because he goes along on the roller coaster that I take. Um, Seeing that the market for quilting is just booming was one of those like, I just want to get in on that. That's so fun. I want to be a part of this. That was awesome. And then going to the quilt shows and actually talking to people face to face and them realizing what I'm doing and seeing the reaction that they're having is really what keeps me going. Because when they're like, this is awesome, I love this, this is going to be great for so and so, like I want to try this, and that's what tells me this is going to catch on, this is going to work. So but no, we've hit a lot of walls along the way, especially trying to figure out the printing and the different patterns that do and don't work and that kind of thing. But when I got the first trial that I did from Spoonflower, I was like, ooh, this might be something. This is really exciting. So
How did you find Spoonflower?
I've
Just
seen it
curious.
advertised all over on I used to always be on Pinterest looking for new patterns and things,
Mhm.
and it would come through on Pinterest quite a bit. So that was who I used for my very first print. But then afterward, you have to find someone who can keep up with what you're doing. So,
Right, right.
but yeah.
So where do you come up with your designs? Who is your obviously you do, or
Yeah.
does your sister-in-law look at them and say, oh, maybe tweak this or do that or mix this color with that color? Does that happen?
I have I have a friend who's very creative and she's into the digital media quite a bit. And so I send a lot of stuff to her. I'm sure during the workday she's like, "Would you quit talking to me? I'm trying to get stuff done." I run a lot of stuff past my kids actually. My son has a really good eye for color and layout, and then he's like, "Okay, now I'm out. I want no part of this." My daughter is really awesome at looking at things for me. But no, so all the artwork is mine.
So,
I took a lot of art classes in college, in between dental hygiene classes. So, um, I've tapped back into that, and so all the artwork I've created either on the computer or with a paintbrush on paper that then I use a scanner, and then I edit it and turn it into fabric. So yeah, it's a
wow.
big group effort. People are sick of
Well,
seeing me coming.
it is a group effort, honestly, because you're putting your heart into this design and you absolutely love it, but who else is going to, right?
Right.
So you want other people to look at it, right? Really, to kind of give you an idea. And I'm glad that you got family around that helps you with that.
Yes.
What inspires you to create these designs? Do you like go place and say, oh, wow, I really like that, and start designing? Or what inspires you to create your designs?
Well, obviously, whatever's going on around. I look at everything and my brain does not turn off. Ooh, that could be a pattern. Ooh, I could do this with that. A lot of what actually turns into quilts is suggestions that I've gotten. Ooh, I want to see like a baby boy blue and yellow quilt that's really light and maybe ducks or something on it. So we have a duck quilt. So things like that. But I talk to a lot of people, get a lot of ideas. If you come by my booth or if you're online, I'm like, give me suggestions. I listen. So, yeah, it's been,
That's probably really smart business to listen to your customers. I know it is. I know many companies that do that when they truly listen to
mhm.
their customers because they're the ones purchasing your items, right?
Yep.
They're the ones making them, they're the ones creating them, they're the ones binding them and giving them as gifts or keeping them for family. So they really know what they want and would
Yes.
like to have. So huge kudos to you for doing that because
Oh, thank you.
it really is smart business. So many businesses out there don't listen to their customers, and
Mm,
then they don't make the best, whatever, designs, item, product, whatever it may be. And then they have a lot more flops than they do, gold mines. So listening to your customers, I think is really critical because they're the ones buying, right?
Yes. Yep.
And you want them to buy your product.
I want to keep doing what I'm doing. So yes.
It is I just sit here in awe of people like you that raising kids, having a family, and get inspired by something and go after it. And it turns into a business. Something that was fun to do completely turns into a business because you like doing it. And it inspires me to see somebody like you to be able to do something like this. If you were to give anybody advice out there listening, watching to this podcast, what kind of advice would you give them?
It's easy to say, just do it. But first of all, just do it. And when you hit a closed door, just keep asking people. I had a hard time finding a fabric printer, and I would send an email or call anybody that I could. I'm looking for someone to print my fabric. Do you have anything? Do you know anyone? And the amount of people that would respond and just kindly point me in the right direction was amazing. So when you don't know what you're doing, it's okay. Somebody out there does. Just keep keep reaching out until you find someone who can do it. Talk to you about whatever you need to do and push you through to where you need to get. So,
well, it's really important because there are plenty of people out there that are willing to answer your questions. We're just afraid to ask, right?
Right.
We're afraid we're going to get turned away, but it's surprising. Last week, I asked a question of somebody that is very celebrity known to be on my podcast. And I really was expecting a no, but I got a yes.
That's awesome.
So you never know unless you
never
ask.
know.
And you have to pound the pavement. You really do. And going to shows, talking to other exhibitors who have been doing this for a long time, setting up your booth. Do you travel all over the place? How far do you travel to your exhibit? I say exhibits, but to your quilt shows or whatever vendor events you do?
Right. So right now I've been staying in the state of Texas because that's where I'm at. And Texas has so many quilt shows and so many quilt shops and guilds that I've been able to stay here and get myself launched. So staying in the Texas area has been really good for me. Eventually I'll branch out. Looking forward to maybe some shows up in the north at some point. So, but Texas is a great place to start quilting. So
it really is. It's huge here. It's absolutely huge here. Now, do you go to the Houston Festival?
I am this year. I'm excited. So this will be the first time I've attended before. This will be the first time I vend. So that's exciting and terrifying all at the exact same time. So it's such a big event.
Yes.
That I almost have no idea what to expect, and yet I kind of understand that I'm diving in the deep end. So
now, did you go before COVID or after COVID?
I went last year. So we've been out of the country during COVID. So now that we're back stateside, I've been able to attend. So it's been great.
It's overwhelming.
It is.
I go to market. I don't go to festival, but it's the weekend before festival, like that Thursday or Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. The first year, this is funny. The first year I was so overwhelmed. I was out of there by, let's see, I went to the Friday schoolhouse thing, and then Friday I was out by 1:00 because it was just like,
it's a lot.
It's
sensory overload.
In the second year, which is last year that I went, I didn't have enough time on Saturday. They were closing out at 5 and I was still going, right? So the first year always is a bit overwhelming in what to expect. But see, you already have a booth at a lot of shows. It won't be much different except maybe more traffic.
A little bit bigger. Yep. So no, I took my mother, I'd gone to market last year, and then I took my mother to festival the one day, and the two of us just stood in the entryway and were like, oh, what have we gotten ourselves into?
Yeah, it's definitely overwhelming. There's no doubt about it. And the cool thing is, and I'm sure you know about this, but they have a spring market too up in St. Louis.
Yes.
So it could be very advantageous for you
Yeah,
to really grow.
it's
Um,
on the radar.
yeah. And then the next biggest event is the H&H of America's show.
Yes.
And that one's in Chicago this year. I don't know, or next year.
Mhm.
I know they move around. They used to be a lot more international, but I know they're starting to move around in the United States. But I know
Okay.
Chicago is 2026. And my understanding, now I've never been, Paducah also is a big show to go to. Those might be advantageous. That one's in Kentucky.
Yep.
I guess if you spread your wings a little bit, right?
If I
Uh,
spread my wings, yeah.
yeah. So do you have a presentation for guilds?
I do. I do. I've done a couple guilds. I have the Fort Worth Quilt Guild coming up in this month. I'll go and present at their guild, and then we have a workshop. We'll be doing the table runners. Same concept as the fold and sew quilts, but they're a little bit smaller, so we can get one done in an afternoon. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Cool. So how would somebody do you search for the guilds to present to and send emails, or do you wait for them to come see you?
They've been coming to me when I'm at the shows. They'll come by the booth and they're like, "Hey, you're in the area. We'd love for you to come by." So that's been great.
That's awesome. Because I think when you do your speaking at the group and then do the class, workshop,
Mhm.
whatever, either 1 or 2 days, that really, I think, probably will help spread the word for you,
Yeah.
getting out there, because they're going to say, "Oh my God, it was so much fun. It was so much to do. We actually finished something in one day," right?
Yep.
I mean, how many quilting projects? Not many. There are some that people can say, "Oh, I can get it done in one day."
Right.
Not many. The
And the
rest of it,
table runners, you can have them done fairly quickly. So it's a great project to do that with. I was speaking to um, a lady at the Austin Quilt Show, and she said, we want to come in and we want to finish the project. We don't want to go home with something half finished because we'll never get it done then. And so the table runners have been a good answer to that. So
well, and everybody loves table runners, and they're nice to have on your tables, and you can
mhm.
change them often, right? I mean,
Yes.
that I have one on my table right now. So, you
Where
know,
it should be. Yes.
I mean, maybe I'm old school, but that's my mother always had something on the table, right?
Yeah.
And so, anyways, I'm really excited for you and the
Thank
growth that
you.
you've done. And it's gonna take you on a journey that you never thought you would be on.
It really does. I thought I was just going to be doing these quilts, and here we are, touring fabric studios and figuring out how cotton comes about. It's been eye-opening, eye-opening. So,
It really, there's no doubt about it, because I've gone to several meetings between Plano and Dallas, and they
mhm,
bring in some of the most interesting speakers. And one of them was about cotton and how they make cotton
mhm.
for. I mean, we just think it's fabric, right? But
Right.
there is a lot that goes
There's
into
a
it.
lot. Yep.
The type of cotton and what kind of cotton and where you get your cotton and what region. And I mean, I was like, oh, I didn't, right? I just wear it.
It's a
I can
lot.
use it.
Yeah.
So but I am really excited for you for this journey
Thank
that
you.
you're on, because I felt the same way when I was in that other business. Like, I had no idea where I was going. I really
Mhm.
didn't. I just kept taking the steps, kind of like you are, and more doors kept opening and larger things kept happening. And I was just like flabbergasted that, wow, little old me, who had no experience, could grow a company this large, right? Or
Mhm.
this big. I wasn't large. I only had there was only 8 of us, so it was a small footprint but a large volume. And I think that same thing is going to happen to you. Obviously, it started. It's
Oh,
begun.
thank you.
It's begun. So, do you have any fun other than Fort Worth? Do you have any other fun things coming up, or places and things to do?
Yeah, so we have the Houston, I'm sorry, not Houston. So I have Houston coming up. So that's the big one on the radar, but San Antonio, which is near home, so I'm really excited about it. Walk in the Park is coming up in September. So I'm really looking forward to that show because it's going to be the people nearby, so that's fun to see friends and family come through. So That'll be
Love
a
San
great
Antonio.
show. So.
Yeah. Walk in the park. Does that mean it's on the Riverwalk?
No, it's actually at the Alzabar Shriner Auditorium on
Okay.
1604.
Okay.
So
And what big things are you planning for 2026 since we're in the fourth quarter?
2026. Wow. More quiltlets, hopefully some quilts coming out. Just different shapes and sizes of quiltlets, and branching out of Texas, heading to some other shows and seeing what's going on in the rest of the world. So it's exciting.
And when you travel, you've got people that come with you, like your
Yes, I have designated buddies that go with me.
That's good.
So I have a really, really, really good friend who I owe a lot to. She comes on a lot of the runs with me. So she'll be in San Antonio, and she'll come to Houston as well for a little bit of that. My sister-in-law, not the artist, but my husband's wife, actually, she's amazing. She's come to a couple quilt shows with me. So she's gonna fly out and she's gonna help me with Houston. She's amazing. So I've got some awesome people in my life who are really, really pushing me through this. It's been great.
It's great to have that support, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I
So
know there's days you're like, oh, I really want to hang this up.
there's a lot of
Why
exhausting days.
why did I get into this, right?
Right.
Yeah. And
What have
then
I started?
yes, and can I really handle this? But you really can. I just want to encourage you. You
Thank
really
you.
can. You're going to surprise yourself. I surprised myself. I know you will surprise yourself on how much you can grow and build and who you become through this whole process. You're going to surprise yourself. And,
Mhm.
I'm really proud that you took that first step because
Thank you.
honestly, it's a minority. The ideas come to people all the time, but they never step into it. They never jump on it. Or their first door that says no, they're like, oh, this is stupid. Why am I doing this? And they don't continue forward. So I know I've said this a lot during this while we're chatting, but truly, I think it's so important that you are a success already,
Thank
and
you.
it's only going to grow, only going to grow. So we've probably really already talked about it, but in the next year or two, really probably a couple years down the road, I'm assuming you have goals, right? Most business owners do. You have 1 year, 2 year, maybe 5 year,
Right.
your goals. So let's talk about 10 years, 5 years from now. Where do
Whew.
you see yourself? Let's put it out there
Oh,
so you'll be
wow. It seems to change every day as I learn more about what the quilting world is, and the the cotton fabric world looks like. It's been, I don't know. So we would love to see Fold and Sew grow. I would love Fold and Sew to be in the local quilt shops. We have made our quiltlets wholesale available to shops, so that's on our website as well. So I want to be in shops teaching how it works, hands-on. That's my favorite part, is actually interacting with quilters and showing them how the product works and seeing their faces light up when they realize, oh, those seams will come together as you sew them, and how easy it is. So that's a general idea of where we want to be. I'm not sure we've nailed it down completely because it's changing daily.
it's evolving. It's
Hmm.
it's constantly evolving and changing. You're absolutely right. But I think you're heading in the right direction. Teaching and showing people how to do and work with your product will be tremendous for you. And you'll become a sought after teacher.
Thank you.
And you'll be jet setting all over the United States,
That
maybe,
would be fantastic.
maybe in different countries too. Who knows? Or Canada or Mexico or wherever, I mean, quilting isn't just for the United States, right?
Very true. Yep. No, I love to travel, and if I can travel and quilt, I've got a good day right there.
That's awesome. And you said you have videos, so I'm assuming you have a YouTube channel?
I do. It's Fold and Sew, but you can follow the links for all of those videos from our website. It's
Mhm.
generally our tutorials on how to assemble the quiltlets and use the quiltlets and assemble the quilts and bind the quilts and all the steps that you need. So
And how often do you post your videos?
well, it's not one where I'm posting videos often as far as like, here's what's going on in the quilt world. It's more of just the tutorials. So when I have a new product come out, I post on that. I do some shorts. If I'm posting something on social media and it pertains to, going on to YouTube, I'll do that as well. But Instagram and Facebook seem to be where where the focus is right now. So
If I could encourage you
do
to
it.
do a video a
Okay.
week, one video a week.
One video a week. All right. I'll try. You know what? I'm going to try. I'm going to take that on.
If I could encourage you to do that, in 6 months' time, you will see how fast your audience grows.
All right. I'm going to do it.
And, it could be it doesn't have to be a long tutorial. It could be just a short one, right? I mean, there are so many things that you can show people with your product that you don't necessarily have to show the whole thing. You could, and obviously then you cut it up into shorts like you're doing. But the more, here's the thing about YouTube, the more frequent you post on YouTube, at minimum once a week, okay, it shows YouTube, it's like Google, okay, it shows that you're putting fresh content out there all the time. And the more you post, the more they're going to serve you up higher in the rankings when people are Googling quilting or, how to quilt, whatever, a runner or whatever the case may be, right? Your keywords are important. But if you could put, and you could like I do this for a lot of my clients, is we video a lot of stuff in one day, like have a video day. And that way on a weekly basis, you're not stressing yourself. So take one day a week or one day a month and create enough information for your 4 weeks. Edit it, whatever you want to do with it, or keep it real, raw, and post it. And you will see a change in how the algorithm works and you can use those same videos and reels on Instagram and Facebook.
Yep. Okay.
So I encourage you to do that.
I'm going to take you up on that. I'm going to do that.
And you'll watch and you'll see that your followers are going to start to like multiply.
Okay.
Because they're going to show your information, because we are in one of the largest industries. People don't understand. We are in one of the largest industries. Somebody had told me, and I've said this on other podcasts, that the quilting industry is as large or larger than the NFL.
Wow. That's a lot.
Well, think about it. Look how big these shows are around the United States. Look how many people quilt, right? It's a huge industry, and we're just scratching the surface of it, really.
It's awesome.
Now, do I know the numbers? No. Do I believe the person who told me that? I do, because when I heard that, I thought there's no way, but I look around and I see all the manufacturers for all the different fabric, so many different names in the fabric world, so many different names in the needles world, in the thread world, in the batting world, and I mean all the things that go with quilting, right? It's huge.
Yep.
And if you really think about it, even though Joann's closed, look how large they were.
Yes. Yep.
They just maybe didn't handle their money very well.
Yeah.
But the point is, look how huge their stores were with all the fabric. And that's not even the real quilting fabric that they had in their stores, right? So it's a much larger industry than I think many people really understand. And it could also be maybe you just talk about your fabric and how you come up with your designs on your videos. There are so many different things that you can talk about rather than actually doing if you don't want to do something.
Right.
But I just create a schedule and figure out what you want to do each week. And you can schedule them. You can schedule them to post. And then you can do all your work in 1 or 2 days and you're set, and watch it and then just rinse and repeat. So,
all right.
Anyways, I always encourage everybody to go on YouTube because if you think about it, don't you watch YouTube? Don't you watch Reels? Don't you watch Instagram Reels? Everybody does it, right? And if you capture their attention, they're going to want to find out more about you. and it's a great way to promote who you are and what you do.
All right.
So I didn't mean to go on
Definitely.
like that.
No,
I can't
definitely
help
worth
myself
looking.
when you say you can't turn it off. I can't turn it off either. Helping businesses grow, right? It's
Right.
all about that marketing. So, what else have we not talked about? What else would you like to share with us in the last few minutes?
I have some amazing people in my corner. One is my printer that I work with, Little Cocalico. They are based out of Pennsylvania. They operate a lot like Spoonflower, but it's a little bit more personal. If I send a file to John, he'll message me and be like, "Danae, you did it all wrong. Try again." Or that file didn't come through, or hey, you're missing something. I sent him off in getting ready for the Houston show. I sent him off 194 yards of fabric. I ordered it and never sent him the files. He's like,
Oh,
"I'm gonna need that." So finding those people that will work with you and the personalization of working with people, that's huge in this industry.
very much so.
Because quilts are personal. They are. And so finding the people that will work with you in that way is excellent. And so yeah.
So tell us, where can we find you? What is the best way to reach out to you? Where can we buy your fabric? Where can we find Fold and Sew? Tell us all about that.
You find me on foldandsew.com, spelled out. We use the symbol as our logo, but the internet doesn't like the symbol, the and symbol. So we're
No.
on foldandsew.com. We offer free shipping. So on our anything $39 and over. So if you order one of our quilts, we'll ship that to you and you can check it out, see how you like it. All of our videos are through our website, so they're easy to find. If you're on our website and you're looking at a particular quilt and you want to know what video goes with it, there's the link right there. It's all pretty user friendly. I have non-computer people sit down and check it out before I launch anything, just to make sure it's working the way we need it to. I go to a lot of the quilt shows, so that's a great place to come by and see me. My contact information is on my website. If you need to contact me, I will respond. So
That's awesome. So, and obviously you're on Facebook and you're
I am,
obviously
and
on
Instagram.
and
Yeah.
you can find her Fold and Sew through those. I'm
Yes.
assuming. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Posting a couple times a week on those, letting you know what's inspired me for the week, what projects I'm working on, hopefully giving you a little inspiration. So yeah.
You never know who you're going to touch.
You don't.
You just never know who you're going to touch, and you'll always find the right people at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that you will have lifelong followers, and people are going to love your stuff.
Thank you.
And you're such a delight to be with, and
Thanks.
cheery and fun. And I am really, really grateful that you said yes to come
Yes.
on the podcast today. And I am very excited to share you with the world. And people will get to see who you are and what you do. And thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. This has been so much fun. I've really enjoyed this.
Well, good. We'll have to come back in a year or two and see where you're at. How's that sound?
Yeah, if you ever need anyone to really say yes to doing one with you, let them talk to me. I'll tell them they should come talk to you.
Good. And if there are people out there watching or listening and you want to be on this podcast, just reach out to me.
Yeah.
Again, I want to say thank you. Thank you to our listeners and followers who are watching this today or listening today. We are very, very grateful for each and every one of you. And until next time.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank
you.
Everybody.
Bye.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss a new podcast. There's always something new to learn. See you next time.